go. Who do you love?
Shelby.
You love Shelby Lee?
Right here. I love you, Shelby. I know I'm someone because God don't make no junk.
I'm closer to Shelby because Shelby is straightforward. I mean, you know what you're going to be dealing with at the moment. Shelby tells you something, you can take it to the bank.
Yeah.
No matter how crazy, no matter how what, Shelby tells you something, you can take it to the bank. Ernie and Shelby have two, kinda. They've been to psychiatric units before. Him and Shelby went together, actually, in Harlan. And they tried to run. I think they did run away. I think they jumped across the fence when they were playing ball.
Shelby never was all there.
Yeah.
Even when his granddad raised him up there, he'd always tell me, always help Shelby in every way you can, help the little old fella.
Yeah.
He's gonna have a hard way to go because he just never was all there, you know.
Shelby Lee, she used to keep him in a chest drawer, remember?
He was
She
so
had no
little,
bed.
he was
She had
born
Bliss in a
premature.
in a playpen thing for a baby bed. Shelby Lee, he was literally just a baby. She had him a bed made in a top chest drawer. Pull a drawer out and have him bed made.
He was born
they all had
prematurely. He
asthma.
weighed 4 pounds. I've sat over
He stayed in the
there.
croup tent.
I've stayed over there, sat over there 2 weeks at a time with him in a croup tent.
Well, my mom and dad raised him until he got back with his mom, and he got to run around with bad people. She kept him for years and sent him to school and Sunday school and church. You know, they was into everything. And when he got away from my mom, that's when he got downhill. He got with, the wrong people, and they coached him doing bad things.
My papa and granny raised them kids, and I practically, that's Mom, I stayed there. And they wouldn't ever know bad kids. It's just, I guess he got on the wrong road or whatever. But my granny always went to church and done right. And my granny's not the fault for what they did. My papa's not. And my papa's dead. But I mean, my granny and papa's well-known people. But how them kids turned out to be was Shelby. I don't know what happened with him, but
Don't bother her, Carl.
I don't think it's right. No, I don't.
He tried to kill John Paul, too. Now, I know why he tried to kill John Paul. John Paul tried to do stuff with Shelby. Shelby hates John, and he tried to shoot him 3 or 4 times on Mama's porch, and he didn't. And I walked in on that.
On Shelby.
And John trying, but she quit when I walked in at Mama's.
That was John Paul. That was Edith and Shelby's son. That he was on them auction cottons too. Anything he tells Shelby to do, Shelby to do it. He beat Shelby all the time, beat him just about to death, and him just a kid growing up. Boy, Shelby was a lot younger. Shelby didn't do exactly what he was told. Steal, no matter what it was, for drugs. John Paul was beating on him. Well, Glenn was one telling me about it, said it had sexual abuse and that it was another boy up there supposed to been doing it. Well, to be honest with you, Geraldine's boy, Jim, is what his Glenn told me was doing it too. She told me that both of them, that Ernie said was doing sexual abuse. But now I've also heard tales that Ernie was gay. I don't know.
She would hitchhike with truckers, and Mama and Papa went plumb to Cincinnati once to pick her up. It was bad. She thought she was a vampire one time, and she went into the grocery store at Dawn's.
And she thought she was a bat could fly.
Yeah, she got on top of the house and thought she could fly.
When was that?
Probably 2 or 3 years ago. Not long ago. She wrote on crayon, with a crayon on the trailer, fuck you, Steve, I know you fucked my sister, talking about Connie, which they did. But And he got a blazer off of her, and she threw cinder blocks through his vehicle windows and tried to set it on fire. And Angel just had a baby on St. Patrick's Day, her daughter, and she thinks it's hers. Junior asked her, kept saying, well, who's her daddy, you know? I need to know who my daddy is because I have all these heart problems. They're hollering it's genetic. Well, who the hell's my daddy because nobody else have them? Well, she told him Papa was my daddy. She told him Ralph Carr was my daddy. Jeff Brock, the judge that just died, was supposed to be my daddy. I've got 14 daddies. She's got 6 kids and every one of them's got different dads. We don't know who they are. Just like Shelby said, we're mutts. They act like nothing was wrong with her, like she was born normal. But they act like the reason she's mental is because somebody put LSD in her drink or something. Everybody in my family's mental, even me, I do believe. I get psychotic sometimes. I do. Think I'm bipolar.
When she was here, she was really wiped out. She's not like she is now. She was way worse than that.
I had to
She
make
was
her eat and
tripping
everything.
bad. She was on a bad trip for a long time. I mean, talk to TV. She would always werewolves,
Like to kill
vampires,
me with all the youngins in her.
She'd sit and talk to TV.
She
Those
talked to the
ahead.
TV. She thought they was talking to
Thought they
her.
was looking and hearing everything we was talking. And she'd be cussing head out, so thinking they're talking. So she'd hearing voices and stuff. And she's all the time hearing voices. Then it got to where she was in here, and me and John would go out there and stay in that little house out there, because we was scared to death. Because Gwen would tell us all, wouldn't she? She said, when you go to sleep tonight. She said, when you go to sleep tonight, I'm cutting your head off. And we was terrified of that, you know. I was scared to sleep in here. So me and John started staying out there in that little house, so we was scared to death. And we'd always be scared to death to come in the next morning and find somebody with her head cut off.
You know, when she got up and the devil or something told her to get the butcher knife and cut Steve's head off, wasn't
That
it?
wasn't long ago, a few months ago.
And then she
went
said,
out to the neighbor
it
with
said,
butcher
no,
knife.
don't kill him, go kill Ada Mae. And she
come
went
back.
down there.
And then come back and kill Steve.
Gwen, their mom, you know, she had problems too. She was under psychiatric care. I went down and said, look, here, I had paperwork and everything. I said, these kids, she signed them kids over to me, give me full custody and control. I've never been proved unfit. I had a new wife, I had a home in Aegis Bottom, a job in the coal mines working. That other social worker come up to my house, take their word for it. That's the reason I couldn't stay with her. Yeah, she just had a whole lot of problems, you know, running with a man, doing anything she wanted to do, getting on that dope bad. I'd go to work. When I'd go to work, she was out with another girl running around most of the time. That other girl was on drugs, and she's dead now. Drugs ended up killing her. But when I go to work, she was out doing drugs and running with other men and everything else while I was at work. Back then, it was mostly smoking pot and doing finances. Yeah, she drank too, anything she get. Whiskey, beer, she don't go out moonshine too. Just anything they could get. Let me tell you what happened. When she was pregnant with Shelby, I was having trouble with her, and so we'd separate. Well, I'd leave time to me on, and I'd come down here in Aegis, which we wasn't divorced or nothing, but we was working on it. We'd separate, get back together. I actually tried to make it work with her, you know. I worked the mines, I'd give her anything she wanted from kids. Well, I was down here in Aegis, but they arrested me, come down here in Aegis, arrested me, and I wasn't even around them. And I went into the courtroom, and he told the judge, he said, they put it on hold, took me back to jail, said this woman has been beat, had a baby early, and said the charges might be upgraded to murder on me, because Shelby was born early, thought it was. Well, I didn't know what was going on because she had a warrant took for me where I was supposed to beat her. I hadn't even been around her. And so I went back to jail thinking, you know, I was maybe be charged for murder if that baby dies. Because she went ahead and had the baby. Come to find out what happened,
Nick, shut that door now.
the fine girl I told you about lay on the cloud that she was running with other men doing drugs and anything she wanted to do. Had cut slip hickeys all over her face. Her, you know what I mean, make it look like bruises. And then act like I had beat her when I hadn't even been around her. So my sister went and got her and took her to the district judge's house and told the district judge that she was wanting to drop charges on me, that I hadn't done nothing to her. So they ended up dropping charges on me anyway. But that's what it was. Lay on a cloud, had sucked hickeys all over her face and everything to make it look like I had beat her. Of course, I told you she had psychiatric problems. She was under psychiatric care, but now back when me and her was going together, she took a bunch of pills to try to kill herself. And well, supposed to try to kill herself, I'd say she just OD'd down. Took too many of them. That's before Shelby was born. Anytime she get in trouble with something on drugs, she'd tell the judge, it's right in the paperwork,
Yeah.
right down hall right now. She'd tell the judge, oh, somebody snuck something in my drink.
Yeah.
He's been abused all his life.
Yeah.
Shelby has. Shelby's been abused more than any of them has. And Mommy went all kinds of his mommy. His mommy put him up to do everything in the world. Even when she had the kids, social workers would go up there. She'd put them kids up to do things to them social workers, throw cats on them and everything. That one social worker was scared to death of a cat. Go ahead and put them up, throw cats on them, everything in the world, just emotional abuse and physical abuse. She'd beat them and everything
She
in the
locked him
world.
out. She lived in the trailer. She locked Shelby out. He wasn't much over than Nick, was he, Mac?
Well,
She told me, Steve, that guy she's married to, said he had a little dog. Said that she got so mad at him she couldn't stand it, but he thought the world of that dog. Said he had it, tied in the yard through the day. She went and took a needle and got battery acid out of a battery and told me she would just squirted on that little dog, and that little dog would scream, and he, it was killing it, and he couldn't figure out what was wrong with it, and told me she kept squirting that battery acid on that little dog, just lay there. It didn't have a hair on it, lay there and died, and they didn't know anything about it.
she said that dog been fooled with chicken, said it won't fool it no more. She shot that dog with a .22 rifle and cut it up in little bitty pieces. I walked up to the front door, that .22 bullet went right by my head. She shot through the front door and almost shot my brains out with a .22 rifle. Act like somebody been trying to break in on her, and she thought it was somebody trying to break in on her. She almost shot my brains out. Yeah, that's how dangerous she was.
So you could only imagine what them kids went through with her that nobody does know about, But I do know that's what she done to us, but it's until what she's put them kids through, to be honest with you. Yeah, they told us one time that she set him on the couch. And I know he wasn't much older than that. Didn't he, Matt? Made them watch pornography.
Yeah.
Made them watch nasty movies all day. They was telling us all about it. Said she made them sit on the couch, all three of them, and watch it. Pornography. Filthy X-rated movies. It flipped me out. I thought, well, all three of them told us it. They didn't think it was nothing wrong. To them it must have been an everyday thing or something. Didn't they, Mac?
Yeah.
Because, they'd come right out and tell you stuff. I guess to them it was normal. I don't know.
Anybody could lead him into anything. They could, I'm a hillbilly and I don't know how to, I'm not good at talking or words, but anybody could coach him into anything. They could tell him, and he'd give everything he ever had away just to try to make friends with people. And they could tell him to do things, and he would just do it, So he was easily led into anything.
Shelby was more or less the one, whatever happened, he took the rap for it. whatever happened, no matter what clan he was with, when the market down here got robbed, they left Shelby standing. JR took the money and took him a honeymoon trip with the money. After Shelby robbed that little convenience store. They left Shelby. It's like they put him up to do it, and then they leave, or Shelby takes the route. Shelby's always, no matter if he was a troubled one, and Shelby take his shirt off his back. He is a sweet boy. I know he's done wrong, but Ernie should have had it, not Shelby.
Shelby grew up with him. I mean, James would have probably been considered like somebody else's father figure, you know? Shelby and James was really, really close, but he would stay with James all the time. I think he's murdered several people. Shelby always considered him like a father figure, I mean, really. James would put him up to going and stealing stuff and giving to him, and everything that Shelby done was pretty much something that James had put in his head to do, you know. Robbing people. He stole vehicles and brought back to James, and just guns, everything, dope. You name it, Shelby stole it, gave it to James. Whatever James wanted, Shelby would get. But Shelby also acted like he was scared of him at one point in time. Shelby tried to kill him. But the gun wasn't loaded.
I ain't saying Ernie's involved. I say Ernie was wanting to make a big name for himself. Ernie's always wanting to be something that he can't be. He's always wanting to be a law or wanting attention. He's even hollered he was a bounty hunter and everything else before, you know. Shelby was tight. Anything you ask him to do, he'd do it.
He'd help you, yeah.
Ernie thinks he's smart.
Yeah, Ernie thinks he's a genius. He just,
yeah.
Ernie.
And if you look back in his background, you'll find out what he done when he booked all them wrestlers too.
Yeah.
Like he was a big promoter. He acted like he was a promoter over wrestling. He had these wrestlers that you see on TV, a whole lot of them coming in here, and like he was promoting them, he was going to pay them to come in to that wrestling outfit they had over there, and they didn't have money to pay them with.
He's a rest and
Ernie's always been, he's always wanting to be something that he can't be.
He could be, he just don't want to work for it.
His brother Ernie, he would be in on it more than people knows, because he's the type of person, he wanted to get rich quick, and he's all his life he wanted to, like, be into filmmaking or wrestling or something. And he's like 30-year-old, and he makes masks and stuff adjacent and sells them, and tries to open his own company. And he's the type of person in his own mind, he's a legend in his own mind, I guess you could say, that he wants to get rich quick and not do nothing. But he's so sorry. He's too sorry to live, you know. I don't really have feelings toward him like I do Shelby. But me and Shelby's pretty close, and we've had our ups and downs, you know. But Ernie, he thought he was going to make a movie out of the deal, you know. And said he just done it to try to get his brother help. But he was in on the different things with Shelby, you know. But Shelby would never tell on him. He wouldn't tell him. Well, just like when he got Shelby for a robbery, he could have told on some boys that really was doing it, and Shelby went ahead and done it, and he gave everything to them. They told where he was at and everything, you know. This was in the past, but he had so-called friends, and the friends that he had, they wasn't any good, and they're still not no good. A bunch of them's in jail now, but everybody turned on him, and people didn't really want him around them because of the way he was and the things he's done. But, you know, he's my family, and I would have his back no matter, you know, what went on, and I want you to tell him that, you know.
Shelby's the best uncle ever.
Love you, Shelby Lee.
Love you. Love you, Shelby.
I mean, he's a human no matter what's happened.
He's really, really good person. He shouldn't be in prison. I mean, people have their judgments, but he's my brother. You can't change it. Love you.